Hey, what up, everybody? Coming this morning with another 2020 mid-year top 10s. This one's going to be on the 160-pound middleweight division. I've deemed that's tied for third, but I've deemed it to be basically the fourth best division in boxing. That's pretty much because Canelo's ranked in both divisions, and we pretty much know that his next fight's going to be at 168. And he may not come back down to 160, but considering he's still a champion at 160, we're still ranking him right here. So that's why this is the number 4 division in boxing instead of the number 3 division. So let's jump in and take a look at what's going on. First off, we haven't had anybody drop out of this top 10. Everything's pretty much the same. The coronavirus has had a lot to do with that. Not a lot of guys have fought, and that's made everything kind of stay the same. Plus, not a lot of movement, from the lower guys. Again, part of the coronavirus. So let's start with still number 10, Matt Korobov, former world title challenger. I just heard earlier in the year that he was opting to, because his last fight in December when he fought Chris Eubank Jr. for the interim title and lost by a second round TKO and he pretty much threw his shoulder out, that he was opting for rehab instead of surgery. So, not sure when he's going to be back. I would guess he's going to be back sometime towards the end of the year. He's not ranked in any of the governing bodies, though, for a world title. So he's probably just taking some time off before he pays the fees to get ranked again. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he moved back to 168 or if he just came back and got a win at a catchweight fight. So not expecting much out of Korobov for the remainder of the year. Next at number 9, dropped a 1 spot from number 8, is the former WBA champion Rob Brandt. Well, Brandt was supposed to fight in January and stay busy ahead of a mandatory rubber match with Ryota Murata for the WBA regular title, but he got injured. He pulled out of that one. We know Murata has been been considered a serious option for Canelo's next fight. That got scratched, but we still, earlier in the year that got scratched for a May possibility, but we still haven't heard anything about that rubber match taking place. So not quite sure what's going on with Rob Brandt. Haven't heard anything on when he's going to return. It's been over a year now since he lost to Murata. He lost to him in July of last year when Murata TKO'd him in the second round of their rematch. And we just got to wait and see. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to come back in. I would wage by now that these two guys are probably gonna come back and take interim fights prior to a third showdown with each other, if that's still in the cards. But I believe it is, but we just gotta wait around and see, because Brandt, he's not ranked in any governing body anymore, so not sure what's the deal with him, but hopefully we hear something soon about his possible return. Next at number 8, moving up 1 spot from number 9, is the undefeated former junior middleweight champion, Jaime Munguia. Munguia in January made his debut at the middleweight limit when he took on former world title challenger Spike O'Sullivan. It was an impressive performance, but it was a scary one because O'Sullivan, the veteran, was not afraid. He went toe-to-toe with Munguia. Second round, I think it was the end of the second round, he hurt Munguia badly with about 9-10 seconds left in the round. And, I really thought if he jumped on him, before the bell, which he tried, but if he would have caught him again, he might have put Munguia down. Munguia, you could tell, understood the urgency after that. He started popping a serious, hard jab on O'Sullivan and, broke him down after that. And it was just an impressive 11th round TKO, but it was not an easy one. So, big time win. They were talking about him fighting Kanat Islam, in an eliminator, but nothing came from that either. Munguia is currently ranked number 1 still in the WBO, so not quite sure what they're going to plan for him next, whether it's going to be an eliminator, whether he's just going to stay busy. I think he'll start. Golden Boy's going to announce what he's going to do probably after Canelo announces his next fight. We'll probably see what Munguia is going to do. Wouldn't be surprised if Munguia fought on Canelo's undercard just to sell it on the zone, but we'll see. But I'm hoping we hear something soon, and I'm hoping for the end of the year he's in some kind of eliminator, possibly a title fight with Demetrius Andrade. Next, and still number 7, is the reigning WBA regular champion Ryota Murata, 2-time WBA champion Ryota Murata. Murata was being, lobbied as a serious contender for Canelo. He's still said to be somewhat of a contender for Canelo's next fight, but a lot of people are saying he would have to come to the United States and fight. Canelo wouldn't go to Japan, and they're saying that Murata's just not a big enough name in the United States. But Canelo might end up facing Murata anyways, whether he's a big name or not, just to get an opponent in there. Murata's not a bad guy to fight. He's a 2012 Olympic gold medalist, so wouldn't be a bad option right here. But we got to wait and see. If the Canelo fight doesn't come through, which I don't think it will, is he going to take a tune-up bout and possibly before the end of the year have his rubber match with Rob Brandt? I'm hoping that's the case, but haven't heard anything on Rob Brandt, haven't heard anything on Murata either. So just in wait-and-see mode. I'm really hoping we hear something soon. Next, at number 6, dropping one spot from number 5, is WBA interim champion Chris Eubank Jr. As of late, I've been hearing that he was a possible opponent for Canelo, but he's more a serious, he could be the front runner to land the Jermall Charlo fight. Originally, I thought Sergey Derevyanchenko was the front runner, but right now, but what I read last week is that Eubank is the serious front runner right now. So just waiting around to see what goes down with that one. But yeah, I think Eubank has a chance of landing a big fight in his next one, and I hope he does. I hope he gets somebody serious to take him on, because he deserves it. He deserves a big kind of fight. We'll see what goes down. Hopefully we hear something soon. Next, at number 5, moving up one spot for number 6, is the undefeated WBO middleweight champion Demetrius Andrade. Andrade returned to action in January. I believe he made his either third or fourth defense of his WBO title when he took on little-known Luke Keeler of the United Kingdom. It was on a DAZN card. He main evented it. He dominated him. 9th round TKO victory as he retains his world title again. Still not fighting the big names. The big names don't seem keen on taking on Andre because of his style. But he's still chugging around. He's calling everybody out. He's called Canelo out. He's calling Triple G. He's just recently said he's willing to move up to 168 to fight Billy Joe Saunders. Personally, I don't think he's going to get that. I think he's going to go forward with a mandatory defense against Englishman Liam Williams. And that's going to be what he does this year. I think he'll beat Liam Williams by a late stoppage, or more likely a one-sided decision, and push forward into 2021 hoping for bigger fights. So we'll see. Next at number 4 is the former 2-time world title challenger Sergey Derevyanchenko. Well, Derevyanchenko was being, rumored and is still being rumored as a possible opponent for Jermall Charlo, because he is the WBC's #1 contender. However, the WBC hasn't mandated him to fight Charlo in a mandatory title fight. So I've been hearing that Charlo is leaning towards Chris Eubank Jr. But I also heard that Derevyanchenko's been offered a fight with Charlo and has been offered a fight with Canelo. And lately I've been hearing that he is the front runner to land a Canelo fight. So, a lot of things in the air right now. I think it'd be a great fight for Derevyanchenko and Canelo, even though Derevyanchenko would have to move up to 168. It wouldn't be his first time he's fought there, but it would be his first time in a few years. I really think he's got a better chance of beating Charlo than beating Canelo, but the Canelo fight is a fight that's tough to pass on. So, personally, if I had to pick right now, I'm going to say Derevyanchenko's probably going to get the Canelo fight, but that's just a guess. I really hope he doesn't get he doesn't get left in the wind and doesn't get either one of Canelo or what's his name. Or if that's the case, I would take on Jaime Munguia or Demetrius Andrade in a title fight. If he gets left out in the wind, I'm hoping he doesn't. I'm hoping he gets one of those two fights, especially the Canelo fight. So we'll see. Next, still number 3, is the undefeated WBC champion Jermall Charlo. Well, Charlo, has been rumored possibly to face Derevyanchenko. As I said, though, Derevyanchenko has not been mandated as the mandatory challenger for him, even though he's number 1. And then Charlo's also been rumored to face Chris Eubank Jr. That's the leading front runner. I think he's going to face either one of these guys, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he gets beat by either one of those guys. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins, but I really think it's 50-50 against either guy, Derevyanchenko or Eubank. So we'll see, but it would definitely be his toughest test to date, and I'm hoping we hear soon on what he's going to do next. Next and still number 2 is the reigning IBF champion Triple G Gennady Golovkin. Well, we know Gennady Golovkin's going to make his mandatory defense against some undefeated unknown fighter. We know that fight's happening next. There is some talks that he could face Canelo later on in the year, but I don't think so. I think they're probably going to fight in 2021. I think if both guys can get their fights in by September area and they walk away from their fights clean, they could fight each other, but that's just a rumor right now. But Triple G will for sure be making his mandatory next. I think he's going to beat that guy by a knockout and retain his belt. And finally, still number one is the reigning WBA super champion, Canelo Alvarez. Haven't heard the final decision on what he's going to do. They're saying September 12th for sure. They're saying LA or Vegas. They're throwing exotic places out, like in front of Mount Rushmore, outdoors, or, you know, on Alcatraz Island. But Canelo should be fighting September 12th. It looks that way. There's rumors he could fight in December. We have not finalized an opponent. I'm hearing the front runner is Sergey Derevyanchenko right now, but I also heard that there's options. There's David Lemieux still on the table. There's British fighters John Ryder and Callum Smith. So kind of really up in the air on what Canelo's going to do right now. I don't think anybody knows. We're just waiting to see. But I'm hoping they're saying it could roll into August, possibly the next couple weeks. We're going to find out who he's fighting and get that fight sealed and delivered. We're hoping. So that's it for the 160-pound middleweight division, the top 10 there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be coming back with another one tomorrow. All right, guys, that's it. True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.